Good afternoon, everyone. Dr. Sam White. The book he wrote, The Climate Rebellion in the Early Modern Ottoman Empire, details many Ice Age fluctuations in Ottoman lands, nomadic incursions, disillusioned population, food price rises, during the same time that the Ming Dynasty was collapsing in those same decades, famines, disillusioned population, and infighting. This follows on the 15th century. So cold, people had to use fire to melt their wine bottles so they could drink it. But interestingly, low temperatures lasting until April and May. Oh, damaging grain. Aren't we seeing that right now planet-wide? The reason I bring it up to you is, well, we're forecast to go into a grand solar minimum right now. And you see that yellow circle where the modern minimum low was? We're going to be reaching that same point off the high in around 2024. And please remember to subscribe to Adapt 2030 while you're watching the video. Mapping out past climate changes during many ice ages, otherwise known as grand solar minimums. This book you're going to want to check out, Climate Rebellion, Early Modern Ottoman Empire. It details the fluctuations and change in their society during the grand solar minimum, nomadic incursions from others also disrupted by this event, looking for food, different economic opportunities, whatever it might be. But also there was internal strife, food price rises. When you take a look over time, they call it the stagnation in reform. But the amount of land lost during that time, as you can see, was quite significant. This all occurred right around the era of 1600 to 1620. And then we jump right over to the Ming Dynasty and its full collapse before the emergence of the Qing Dynasty after that. Same era, 1620. So it was a full northern hemisphere event happening, as well as the southern hemisphere with the Incan Empire. We just start to see it again and again. The Ming Dynasty ruled that entire large area. But you see where it says Great Wall in Manchuria? That today is called Heilongjiang, and that's one of the greatest grain-growing areas in China. That is also going to go offline, causing them enormous stress when they're going to look for imports, when other places around the planet are going to stop exporting because their yields are down as well. I traced this out here. The temperature drops. Every time there's a temperature drop over history, there is a mix-up, an upset, a collapse of a Chinese dynasty, or reestablishment of the rulership within certain dynastic periods that had 4 eras or so, due to the infighting. Coming back to that 15th century, so cold, people used to use fire to melt frozen wine bottles. Most interesting, though, when you look at 1430, it wasn't exactly a low point in solar activity, but it was the lowest, coolest period over the last 1,000 years. Low temperatures lasting until April and May is why I pegged this, because the grain losses. And that's exactly what's happening globally. These late season storms ripping across North America as well as Europe, all the way down to the Middle East. Heavy floods, out-of-season storms, cold. It's all happening in May, almost into June now. There's more of this weather set to pervade the northern hemisphere through the next week. And this is when 6 out of 10 of the grain harvest had failed. It affected everything from animals to humans. Great loss of life in the population. It was a tumultuous time for humanity. Now we are forecast to head into this exact same type of scenario over the next 5 years. Predicted summary wave on these canceling hemispheric magnetic waves on the sun. Forecast is going out straight into another Maunder minimum type event. We're going to descend off of the high, which we have been plummeting all the way down to that where that yellow circle is that marks the Maunder minimum. We're going to go that much further down in the next 5 years to equal something of the cooling of the Maunder minimum. This is going to be a rapid descent. There's going to be a mix-up in the weather. The crops are going to start being lost on large scales in 2018. By 2019, the world will wake up that, oh, we're entering another one of these phases, and we need to, let's say, rethink the way we do our agriculture and deliver it to the people around this planet. That's your greatest opportunity, even though there's danger in the air. Thanks for watching. Hope you got something out of the video. History definitely repeating itself. But bringing agriculture indoor and having access to your own food supply that you can grow your own food is going to be the #1 priority for you, as well as clean water supplies. water filtration. Food for Liberty, heirloom seed kit, 38 different varieties of non-GMO, non-hybrid vegetable seeds. This is the direction our society is moving. You're going to have to be more self-sufficient. That'll be including your own food supply. You can grow up to 10 acres with this. And as always, if you let these plants go to seed, you can save those seeds and then replant the following year. And if you choose not to purchase the heirloom seed kit from Food for Liberty, I encourage you, heirloom seeds are what you need to buy. Regardless of where you buy them, heirloom seeds is the way to go. Make sure the heirlooms, there's so many varieties of seed out there. You need to make sure that you can harvest that seed from the mature plants to use for the next season.